Well. We got a gift this afternoon for those of us who are Dak Prescott fans and Dallas Cowboy fans. We have none other than the Hall of Famer, Troy Aikman, interviewing Dak Prescott. And I watched the interview, and there were a lot of interesting things said about Dak Prescott. And I'm going to react as we watch this Dak Prescott interview, and I'm going to show you and tell you why Dak Prescott, I'm telling you, he is one of the greatest quarterbacks, not only that the Dallas Cowboys have had, but he right now is one of the greatest quarterbacks of this era. Only thing he's missing is a Super Bowl. Let's talk Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. Again, I'm excited about this interview. I've already watched it. I'm thinking this may be a piece of a longer interview. It's only about 7 to 8 minutes, but Dak Prescott, he's so buttoned up in anytime he gets in front of a microphone. He's well calculated. He knows how to say all the right things. He's always positive. And it helps you to understand his psyche when he's interviewed. Because you would think with someone who gets talked about as much as he does, someone who gets hated on as much as he does, someone who gets judged with a lack of objectivity by so many when it comes to his play, when you hear him talk, you realize something. This man has a mental fortitude of steel. It's like he doesn't let any of the things going on around him bother him. And I'm excited because this is year number 9. Year number 5 for Mike McCarthy. Year number 9 is when we started seeing Peyton Manning making those next steps. Drew Brees making those next steps. 5th year, Mike McCarthy made that Super Bowl run with the Green Bay Packers. There is so much going on, and I'm so excited about this season because I really want to see what it holds for Dak Prescott. So I want to get into this interview. I'm going to let pieces play. I'm going to comment, and then I'll give my final analysis at the end of the video. Let's check it out.
All right, so year 9. That's how crazy is that?
It's flown by. It's definitely crazy from being the young rookie in the locker room to being the uncle or the old head, as they say. It's a blessing, though. It's fun.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, shoot, I remember when you came in as a 4th-round pick out of Mississippi State.
Yeah.
No one expected you to play right away, and off you were. I know you look forward to the start of every season, but does this one feel different in any way?
Yeah, I mean, because it's the one that I'm in right now, I'm present. I feel the best that I have, and I think if anything goes into the biggest factor that goes into it is the experience that I've had. So as you say, going into year 9, but I'm as smart as I've ever been. As I said, the experience of just seeing the defense, getting to the plays I want to get to is at an all-time high. We're in year 2 of Mike running the offense. Brought in Zim, done a great job with the defense during training camp. It was a chess match every single day. So tons of excitement going into this year, and looking forward to the best one yet.
You were.
So I want to comment on that for a moment. I want you to follow Dak Prescott's mindset. I'm sure that he's very cognitive that it is, of course, year number 9. I'm sure he's very cognitive. I'm sure he knows there's a lot at stake. I know he knows everything that people are saying. You can hear it all. But inside of that storm, Dak Prescott is in the center. And because he's in the center, it's quiet and he's calm. I want you to notice what he's doing. He's staying in the moment. He knows all these things, but he's put the past behind him. He's looking forward to the future, but he's staying in the present. He's keeping his mind focused in the moment. What's going on right now? What he can control? What he not worried about what he can't control. He's confident. I love this. He's confident in his ability. See, this shows you Dak hears what people are saying about him. But he's also showing you that he doesn't let people define him. That Dak Prescott believes in what he's doing. He believes in the work he's putting in. He believes in the study that he's putting in. He believes in the players around him. He believes in his coaches. He believes that he's going to do this. You can hear it in his voice. Dak Prescott truly believes that he is going to achieve his ultimate goal with the Cowboys, and that's win a Super Bowl. So I love what he's doing right here. He's staying in the moment, one moment at a time, not letting anything rule or control over him. Let's listen to his next comment from Troy's question.
League runner-up MVP last year, great season. Everyone thought it was a foregone conclusion that you would have a new contract coming into this season. That didn't happen. How does that make you feel?
It just reminds me that this is a business, and I don't take anything personal, to be honest with you. I control what I can, and that's being the best that I can on that field, and leaving it up to my agent and to the Jones and getting the deal done. Obviously, I've played a part in it, a lot of great communications, but for me, it's about taking care of my job and my part in it, and it's showing up every day, being the best version of myself, and continuing to improve to make sure that I'm worth every dollar of it.
Does it make you mad?
No, it doesn't make me mad, not at all.
Okay.
No, can't say.
Now, I want you to follow this whole line of thinking with him in the contract. Troy said, how does it make you feel? He didn't say how he felt, because I'm sure that he doesn't feel too good about it. But he's come to the realization this is a business. And because he understands it's a business, that's why his last comment, because Troy said, does it make you mad? See, I love what Troy is asking, because Troy had been there and done that. Jimmy and Jerry, same issue with Troy. It was about a contract. And so Troy knows how that sits with a player, especially a quarterback, when you're talking about getting paid. And so Dak, while he didn't necessarily say how it made him feel one way or the other, what he did say was, I'm real. I understand what's going on. It's a business. And so the moment you understand it's a business, no matter if it makes you feel a type of way, you can't get mad about it, because Dak understands something else too. Dak has had a great winning record with the Dallas Cowboys. Over the last 3 seasons, only the Chiefs have been up there with the Cowboys in winning games. But Dak Prescott also understands something else. It has not translated into playoff wins yet. And so for Dak, he's staying positive, as in he knows the part that he plays in this. And so because he knows it's a business, and in this business, it's not just about making dollars, it's also about making sense. And where it's got to make sense is in the wins. So he knows he has the regular season wins. He's now wanting to get those playoff wins. And so for Dak, he understands it's a business. He can only control the parts he can control. He can't control how people feel. And at the end of the day, Jerry's either going to give him a deal or he's not. But he was so good in his negotiations, him and his agent, he gets to walk away scot-free. And whether it's with Dallas or not, Dak's going to get paid. So for that reason, see, that's why, what's the point in getting mad? Dak going to win either way. He's going to win either way.
I from my experience, Jerry, he has a unique relationships with his quarterbacks.
For sure.
And what's your relationship like with him?
It's a good relationship. Always growing, I can say that. I understand that Jerry's going to be Jerry. He's been very successful in what he does and in his business. And in there is going to be comments. And that's why I says I don't take anything personal. I understand that he does make some comments sometimes that could easily make me mad. But I understand the meaning and purpose behind it, I guess, in his mad scientist way. More people get to look at our brand and get to look at us, which at the end of the day benefits all of us. So My job is just play on the field and ignore all the rest of the noise.
Speaking of
Now, I want you to catch this piece. Troy is very clever in his questioning because Troy sees something between himself, Tony Romo, Dak Prescott. Everything in between, not really worried about. These are the three quarterbacks, really, since the 90s Cowboys. Troy, Romo, Dak. Jerry has a good relationship with Troy. Probably better now than it was because Troy was mad at Jerry Jones about the Jimmy Johnson issue because Troy Aikman full well understands the Cowboys had a dynasty and you don't get to be a part. It's a rare opportunity to be a part of a dynasty. Right now, Patrick Mahomes, he wins one more. We're talking dynasty. Jim Kelly, people don't understand. This man went to 4 straight Super Bowls. Even though he lost, that's kind of a dynasty. You think about the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys in the 90s. Those were dynasties. And let us not forget what the New England Patriots did over the last 20 years with Tom Brady, the last 15 to 20 years with Tom Brady, an absolute dynasty. You don't get many opportunities to three-peat, win 4 out of 5, 4 out of 6, 5 out of 7. You don't get that opportunity. Those 90s Cowboys could have done that. And so Troy, his relationship with Jerry is good now. But you think about how Jerry's relationship was with Tony Romo. Jerry loves some Tony Romo. He was even reluctant, even when Dak took over and the Cowboys amassed 13 wins under Dak Prescott. Jerry so bad wanted Tony Romo to be the starter then. But Jason Garrett fought him on it. You could tell Jason Garrett wanted Dak Prescott to be the starter because he didn't want to break the chemistry with the team. And so we saw Tony Romo getting paid, doing less than Dak. We saw Tony Romo going to Stephen Jones' son's games. Tony Romo was literally a part of the family. He was a part of the family. And so Troy is asking this question because we noticed something with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, you don't see those photo moments with Jerry Jones. You don't see him talking and cutting up with Jerry Jones. Dak Prescott seems to keep it very business. Very, very, very business. And so Troy asked that for a reason because I think it's apparently obvious to a lot of us that Dak and Jerry Jones, they got a business relationship. And did you hear what Dak said? It's growing every day. And so I believe that if Dak is signed to this contract, and I think that this is kind of hurting the relationship between Dak and Jerry, because at the end of the day, it's not that the Cowboys haven't signed Dak, it's that Dak hasn't signed with the Cowboys because he holds all the cards. And so he's going to get what he's going to get what he wants, or he's going to walk. And so I think that's hurting the relationship. But I do believe that listening to the Stephen A. Smith interview with Jerry Jones, if Dak Prescott signs a 5-year deal, Dak Prescott and Jerry Jones are going to be best friends because they're going to be tied together at the hip for the rest of Dak's career. I'd be shocked if he signs a 5-year deal. In 3 or 4 of that, I'm sure Dak's going to fix it to where no trade clause again, all of these different things. Dak will probably walk into the sunset, retire a Dallas Cowboy. That's what I think.
Jerry speak, early in the offseason, he made the comment that he was all in. And I think a lot of people thought that meant all in on free agency and bringing in some key players to make one last run at it. That didn't happen. Have you talked to him about that? What do you think he meant by all in?
I don't know what he particularly meant by all in. But I think if you do look at our roster, there's a lot of young guys that have been on the brink and are waiting for that role. And I think this is the year, if any other year, that these guys are going to take that step. And I mean, some second-year guys, even third-year guys who maybe had battled injury earlier, or just some things didn't go their way. They had an older guy above them, where at this point, they would be better than any signing we could get outside of the building. So credit for him and trust in the roster, trust in the players in that locker room, and understanding that we're all in, and we're all in every single day that we come in here, and that's in the locker room. So I don't know exactly what he meant.
Yeah, you like this team.
Love this team.
Yeah.
Man, you catch what Dak Prescott did right there. Clearly said at the beginning and the end. He doesn't know what Jerry's talking about. But he gave him credit for the roster. He gave him credit for having confidence in the roster. One thing I can tell you about Jerry Jones, Steven, Will McClay, draft extremely well. Their only problem is they won't do what Jerry did in the 90s. Jerry brought in a free agent to help them get over the hump. He brought in Charles Haley, brought in Deion Sanders. Those were the things that Jerry was doing. The only thing missing out of the equation now is the free agency, and that's why a lot of people question whether or not Jerry's all in. But Jerry's all in on the players he drafts. Bottom line, he's all in on the players that he drafts. Look what happened. Zeke is back. Look what happened. Deuce Vaughn made the team. I mean, just look at what's happening. Signed CeeDee Lamb. I believe Dak's going to be signed. I won't be surprised if Dak Prescott is signed in the morning. I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised if it's announced late tonight. Dak Prescott signed. So I truly believe that Dak, while he probably was hoping Jerry was going to bring in some free agents, but he gave him credit for being all in on the players. I mean, standing up for his owner, regardless how anybody looks at it.
One of the things that I've always admired about you is you, from day one, as a starter, have said that the standard here in Dallas is Super Bowls. And you all have won as many games as virtually anyone in the game here over the last several years. It hasn't translated to success in the postseason. Why is that, do you think? And what do you feel is needed in order to get this team over the hump?
If I had that answer, we would have had a lot more success than we've had. So can't necessarily give you that, other than we've just got to continue to build and understand that the regular season success doesn't automatically mean postseason success. That when you get into those playoffs, you get into that tournament, it's about flipping the switch and understanding that every single play is the utmost important play. And you have to give it your all, from the show team guys at practice to the third down in a game, and all of those details matter. And so we've just got to be better at the end of the year and being detailed and understanding, not getting overwhelmed with the emotion and the pressure on each play, but embracing that we're in the this is the reason we play the game, is for this excitement, for this intensity, and just to understand that each and every play, if we give it each of us give it our very best, detailed, that we'll get over the hump.
How devastating was, after everything seemed to be right out in front of you last year, how devastating was the Green Bay loss in the playoffs?
Yeah, it was for, many reasons. Is expecting to win, the success we've had at home over the last 2 years, to then obviously just the way that we started the game. Me personally, to not being able to really stop the guys, and then as things got it going, thinking that maybe we have a chance, and it just got away from us. And very devastating. But at the end of the day, we've got the opportunity to turn the page, put that behind us, and allow that to not necessarily be a scar, but allow that pain to fuel you each and every day, and your motivation, or inspire you just to continue to get better in your details. And everybody look in the mirror, not just myself, and say, where could I have done better? Where could I have helped this team? And I know that we've done that, and if we continue to do that, we'll be fine.
You're in the top 3.
This answer right here is why I say Dak Prescott is one of the best quarterbacks of this era. If Dak Prescott had one Super Bowl, just one Super Bowl in that resume, Dak Prescott right now, and I still say right now, Dak Prescott, the only quarterback better than him is Patrick Mahomes. It's the only quarterback better than him. These other quarterbacks, Joe Burrow, he's been to one Super Bowl, can't stay healthy. Still yet to be seen on him. He hasn't put together the longevity that Dak Prescott has. I don't even understand the issue with Herbert. This is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen as it applies to Herbert for the Chargers. He's done absolutely nothing. Everything he is achieved is built on potential. It's everyone else's fault other than Herbert. I mean, when you think about Dak Prescott, 4th round draft pick, Dak Prescott is one of the best of this era. Best of this era. And won Super Bowl, won NFC championship even. Dak Prescott is literally, inarguably top 3. But I want you to hear what he said. He addressed quite a few issues. One, he addressed what DeMarcus Lawrence said. Did you catch that? So that people aren't overwhelmed at the end of the year by the pressure, because that's kind of what DeMarcus Lawrence alluded to. And even if that didn't apply to everyone on the team, it lets you know, well, that's obviously how DeMarcus Lawrence felt. That's how some others felt. He also addressed something else. Thinking about how CeeDee Lamb was reacting because couldn't get the ball to him early because they had a game plan. He addressed himself. He didn't get off to the greatest start. Pick 6, interception. He's talking about himself. I think Dak got a little bit rattled when he looked up at the score and it was 14-0. But he settled down. You notice what he said? We thought we got back in it. Dak believed that they were going to come back, but he addressed something else. He said they couldn't stop those guys. I've been saying this since I started this channel. The Green Bay Packers had a great game plan. They knew 2 things. Cowboys can't run. Cowboys can't stop the run. We're going to take CeeDee Lamb away from Dak Prescott. We're going to take CeeDee Lamb away from Dak Prescott. Who does he have outside of CeeDee Lamb? Who does he have? Now he's got to rely on some guys he hadn't relied on the whole season. I mean, wow. CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott threw 4,500 yards, almost 4,600 yards. CeeDee Lamb accounted for 1,700. Let that sink in. 1,700, almost 1,800 yards. That means that these other guys they were the rest. CeeDee Lamb almost had more than them combined. Stop him, stop the Cowboys. So Dak is addressing so many different things in that answer. He's also addressing, when are we going to put the Green Bay Packer thing behind us? We lost. Let's move on. Let's use it to motivate us rather than using it as it was the most crushing blow in all of our lives. Man, this is football. Keep going. One of the things about sports a lot of people can't take is the agony of defeat. If you can't take the agony of defeat, you'll never reach the triumph of victory. You lose, you go on. Dak Prescott, this is why he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of this era, because he understands what's at stake, regardless of what people say, regardless of what people think. He knows what's going on. He knows what he has to do. And he's saying, even he got to look in the mirror. He's got to do it. It can't just be about us saying he's great. It can't just be him saying he's at the best of his career. He's confident in this and that and the other. He's got to do it. He's got to do it. Great answer by Dak Prescott.
In Cowboys history and passing categories, all the major ones, your 8 years, you've been phenomenal. With that said, what are you most proud of your time here in Dallas and what you've accomplished?
I'm not a guy that just, sits back too much and think about what I've done. I guess I'm most proud that I'm year 9 still playing the game that I love at its highest level. The best that I feel like I've ever been is right now, and knowing that still I've got so much greatness ahead of me. But with all those numbers, I want to be at the top of the wins and right there with you at the Super Bowl. So whether it's the passing yards, the touchdowns, I couldn't tell you those numbers or honestly where I even rank on them. So that's not what keeps me up or keeps me motivated. It's getting this place here at Super Bowl.
Yeah, getting your draft class.
Now, I want you to catch something that Dak understands. Dak knows his numbers. Don't let him fool you. But Dak just told us something in that answer. Those numbers will mean a hill of beans if he don't get to that Super Bowl. Dak Prescott has got to get to the Super Bowl. He's got to get there. And I believe one time he'll be in the discussion. He gets in there 2 times. He's a lock for the Hall of Fame because his numbers are already on the trajectory. If he'll just stay healthy, Dak is going to surpass. He's going to own all the Cowboys records, but that's not the records that he wants to own. I don't think he needs 3 Super Bowls. That's not really, that's not, I'm not going to say it's not feasible, but I don't think that's necessary for people to start putting him at that upper echelon. He just needs 1. He just needs 1. And man, if he gets 2 or if he gets 3, oh wow, he will go down as the greatest Dallas Cowboy quarterback ever. He'll be a lock for the Hall of Fame. He'll be a lock for the Hall of Fame. But Dak understands what's at stake. Those numbers mean absolutely nothing. They mean nothing. You can put up all the stats you want, but if you're not winning the chip, if you're not getting to the last game, those numbers, they mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. Dak understands. I need a Super Bowl for those numbers to mean anything.
Hey, Zeke, back this year, I know you guys are really close. We're close from the time you came into the league together. And, what's it been like having him back? And what have you seen from him and how he's going to be able to contribute this year?
Yeah, he's a great player. Obviously a great we said. We grew up here in Dallas together for the first 7 years, obviously before he left, but then just to have him back, understanding that's a guy that takes his job serious. He knows how to have fun, but when it's time to lock in, he's the best at flipping the switch, locking in, one of the smartest players that I've been around, and I think that's evident every day, whether he's signaling like the quarterback signals or telling you how the line should block or some situation in 2 minutes that he is always locked in to the game of football when it matters the most. And we obviously know what kind of running back he is, so I think he's a great goal line threat. He's huge in the passing game for us, and he's just influential to the team and just the way to approach the day.
He's the guy, it sounds like. He brings the levity to this group, and you can't have enough of those guys. Was he missed last year?
Yeah, he was definitely missed.
So let me address something that I addressed in a previous video. This is why the Dallas Cowboys got Zeke back. They got Zeke back so that he can block in the passing game and he can catch passes out of the backfield. They got him to bring stability to the offense. Short yardage. I said it in my previous video. He's going to be the 1, the 2, the 3 yard. He's going to be the goal line. The Cowboys could have really blew some teams out last year and probably have a better chance against the Green Bay Packers if Zeke was there and Tony Pollard. They would have had a 1-2 punch, and simply because Zeke is so good at short yardage. He has a nose for the end zone. He has a nose for the first down. And so Zeke is going to bring all of these things to the Cowboys, and it's going to help them tremendously. I don't think he's going to be the bell cow back. I think he's going to be the call-on back when passing downs, short yardage. We need an extra blocker in. Zeke is going to be all those things and more for the Dallas Cowboys. So I don't think he's good for the running game. I think they need something else for that. I hope Rico Dowdle rises to the occasion. But Dak is recognizing something. Zeke was a great re-addition to the team.
Last year, as I just said, his charisma, his intensity. Obviously, we didn't have a lot of success down there in the goal line, and just being able to have a guy like that who over the last few years has been the best at getting in, whether it's a yard, 2 yards, or a little bit more out, I think he'll be very valuable in that standpoint too.
Great interview by Troy Aikman. Great interview, Dak Prescott. I believe Dak Prescott said everything that needs to be said. And to sum it up, Dak Prescott is basically saying, not worried about you haters, and I'm going to prove all of you wrong. And that's the attitude that not only Dak should have, but that's the attitude that all of us should have. We all have situations in our life where, as great as we are sometimes, we don't always react or do things to our potential. But as a father who has 4 sons, I tell my son something very simple. In life, it's not getting knocked down. It's not losing. It's not failing at times that's the problem. Problem becomes, what do you do after you fail? What do you do after you fall? What do you do after you make the mistake? Do you lie down and have a pity party and ask people to feel sorry for you? Or do you rise to the occasion and you do better, you get better, you do better, and you do and achieve what you know you can achieve? This is why, for me, Dak Prescott, I like Troy Aikman. Love Troy Aikman. I think Troy Aikman was a great leader for the Dallas Cowboys. But for me, Dak Prescott, man, Dak Prescott is shaping up to be one of the greatest quarterbacks, not only the Cowboys have had, one of the greatest quarterbacks of this era. And if he can get that chip, if he can get 2 of them chips, Dak Prescott is going to go down as one of the top quarterbacks in history. That's going to do it for me. That's going to be my time. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and hit that share button. Until the next video, let's talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Peace.